We're live.
Okay, so I am gonna turn the recorder back on. It is 11:34 a.m. and we are back on the record.
I'm sorry, I had one more question for Keith. Anything new on the Lorenzo Loop water pressure?
So, we took the gentleman there, gave us a list of vendors.
Yeah.
And so I called one, had one come out. And what he determined that we had snaked it out, we had done all those type of things. What his determination was that the heads in the gentleman's yard, there's a white seal around it, that it leaks. Well, he said, well, I'm only getting 35 pounds of pressure, which the gentleman told him would be enough if all your heads weren't leaking. But the majority of his heads that he hadn't changed out, there's a rubber seal in there that had leaking air or water. His recommendation, replace those. Whether he's done that or not, I don't know.
I saw an email, he says he's gonna be doing that, I believe, this week.
Fantastic, and that hopefully that, takes care of the problem. I've got to go over tomorrow morning, the gentleman across the street.
Yeah.
On top of him and see, and let him know that could be his same problem.
I told him that, he thinks he has a different problem,
Okay,
but.
I'll find out what that is tomorrow, but,
Okay.
this is, it cost us $170 to have that, expert come out and, so
Okay, cool. Awesome.
at least we know.
All right.
And just a follow-up.
And it's just on that, Mike, I mean, I think we've been pretty proactive in trying to solve these problems. Going forward, my feeling is, I mean, we should do what we should do, our due diligence, but at this point, I mean, I think we're kind of done. If the homeowner wants to have the guy come back at 2:00 in the morning and do it during wet check on his dime, that's fine. If it turns out, but then if they can then prove it's our fault, we can reimburse them for those things. But we should not just keep on spending money doing those things. But let's see what happens, and hopefully this solves it.
Okay, thank you, Keith. All right, so supervisors, just as a reminder, the next regularly scheduled meeting will take place on November 10th. We're only having one meeting in the month of November, so if there are agenda items, please make sure that you send them to Zach and I so that we can add them, since we're only having one meeting that month. A few things I do need to report. I don't know if Jill, you covered this regarding the deposits for the furniture for the tennis courts and the pickleball. Jill, Vanessa, and I had a discussion because of the transition with Hampton and the banking, that we would move forward with the deposits and then we would pay them straight out of general fund account and then make, adjustments due from to get the deposits out. We ran into an issue with Tropitone because they had two different mailing addresses in our system. We were trying to get somebody on the phone. It was a little complicated, but Vanessa was able to finally reach somebody. So instead of processing a check this week, she processed an ACH for Tropitone. And then Florida Patio, we were able to cut Florida Patio a check and overnight it as well. So we went by the amounts that were provided by Cindy. So that is done because Cindy did send me, she sent me copies of the proposals with the adjustments based off of what was discussed in which account. So that's been completed.
There was that $100.
For the one umbrella, I
Yeah.
believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, there was something that somehow the math didn't work out. So I think you're still due to.
Probably, but I'll check with Vanessa.
Yeah, okay.
Financial statements, Vanessa's working on them. She says that she actually sent me a Teams message earlier, letting me know that she's working on them. She should have them out by Wednesday, so we should have them by Wednesday.
Oh, great.
Once the financial statements are issued, we are going to need to review the River Club financials because we will have to present a restated budget for your approval at the next meeting. Andy, I'll need a resolution for that.
Yes.
So we are going to present it. I'll work on that portion, but it's gonna be fairly simple, supervisors, not a complete, restated budget. You'll just see one line item at the top, adding whatever income needs to be added to pretty much balance out the River Club budget with the River Club reserve. So, I'll work on
Does it have to be
that.
River Club Reserve or can it?
Remember, it's considered one fund, so you have the general fund and the reserve fund are considered one fund, River Club Fund and River Club Reserve, so it's a combination of both, so
Right.
both are added together.
Mhm.
So it all depends on where they ended fiscal year end, and then we'll have to compare it.
Yeah.
But, we can jump on a call once the financials are issued and we can review
I
it.
think we're looking at about 100,000, yeah.
Yeah, but we also have to take in any audit adjustments that might happen, which in some cases does happen, so we don't wanna go too low in restating the budget in case there's an audit adjustment, because then you will get a ding regardless of whether or not you restated your budget. If after the audit happens, they find that it's not correct. So typically, we like to add a little bit of a cushion so that in the event there is an audit adjustment needed, it's covered and we won't have a ding.
Interesting.
So we'll work on that. Insurance renewal, we covered the current issue that we're having with Hampton, but our insurance renewal is on the agenda for ratification for fiscal year 2025, 2026. Our insurance renewal for our property, general liability, public officials, and our crime policy, which I covered previously, our total premium was $69,516. Our budget was $76,197. So we were under budget for a total of $5,831. So going back to the general liability, our policy came in $263 less than last year. So our total general liability policy was $7,506, with crime $688. So since it is on the agenda, and this is something that was approved outside of a meeting because of the time frame, we would need a motion to ratify the approval of the insurance
I
renewal.
make that motion.
Second.
So regardless of what happens with Hampton, we need to ratify
We
this.
do,
Yes.
we do, yes.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
So the property policy, I mean, if anybody wants to review the property schedule, let me know, and I can have Zach send it over to you with the entire packet. Pickleball courts, everything's there. Jill, I'm pretty sure you reviewed it, and nothing was noted as missing. But if there's anything that could be missing from the property schedule, let me know, and we can also add it as an endorsement. That's not an issue.
I think we can take 6G off the agenda too, since I covered that.
Correct. Any questions for me? And then, I don't know if Jill covered this, but she's already sent Dana instructions to move forward with the transfers that were agreed upon by the board from the hurricane fund. So that
Yes.
was done as well.
I copied Ken, do not reply, but I
Yeah.
think you got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the delay in that was just because it took some time to get the previous management company's signatories off the account, and I wanted that to happen before I transferred $250,000 anywhere, so.
Yeah. So it's a process, unfortunately.
Yeah,
All right, moving into our business items, we do have the public hearing to consider the adoption of amending the district's rules for use of River Club facilities. This is behind tab number 2 for your review. There is number 1, the review and consideration of the River Club rules and the regulations draft. Consideration of resolution 2026-01, amending the district's rules for use of the River Club facilities. Before we open up the public hearing, just as a reminder to the members of the audience, we will limit public comments to 3 minutes per person. At this time, we will need a motion to open up the public hearing.
make the motion.
There's a motion by Jill, second by Ken. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
The public hearing is now open. Do you want to speak on anything before we open the public?
So I had a brief discussion with the chair prior to the meeting started, and I understand that you may want not, I mean, we'll see where this goes, but you may not want to take action on everything today. You may not be ready. So we do have the opportunity to continue the public hearing to a date, time, place certain, which I would assume would be your November meeting if you wanted. I understand that there may be a little bit more urgency than some of the other issues to take some action on the credit card. I do believe we could do that this morning, and then continue on the other issues if you'd like, or we can take it all up now. As Belinda said, we have the public hearing open, so we can hear from the public, and then the board can close the public hearing and have your discussion as to how you'd like to proceed.
And we, when would we have our own discussion about content after the public?
Yes, you can have it anytime, but typically we take public comments so you can hear what the residents and members who are here this morning might have in terms of input, and then we can close the public hearing and you can have your discussion.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we are going to open up to the public at this time. Are there any public comments? Arlene?
I have a question, based on what's in the new policy that we
Yeah.
received, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-membership and also the membership identification that's necessary now. What have we done to correct anything on the previous affidavits and problems that we had in order for people to be abiding? I mean, we're going through all this and we're abiding by these new rules, or you're gonna adopt these new rules and regulations, and yet we have not resolved the issues that we had
So-
before.
You may be,
I can address that.
sure.
I'm sorry, am I asking
No,
the wrong
no.
question?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's no wrong question.
There's always wrong questions, trust me.
That is actually the next agenda item.
Oh.
But I didn't say this, but one of the things that I did recommend in speaking with the chair as well is that if there are some changes to be made, which contemplating that there are with this whole affidavit type issue, that we should do it as part of the public hearing rulemaking process as well. And so leading back to my initial comment, I'm not sure the board's ready to take action on that today, but if you are, great. But I will recommend that since we have a public hearing and since we advertised it, since I made the ad very broad, that we take it all up together.
No, I think that's fair, and I take your point, Darlene. How do I want to put this? We're gonna take this up. I think, Cindy put some stuff in some material in the agenda. We were gonna discuss that, but I think we'll have to do that when she's,
Yeah.
when
I was gonna
the
suggest
full board
table
is
that.
here.
Okay, I mean,
She's
that's
done a
fine.
lot of work on it, and I think, I completely take your point.
I mean, just a point of interest, this has been going on for almost a year and a half now.
Yeah,
And
or
if not more than that, and
Yep.
so I think that you're taking the time to do all this now, and this is the perfect time to take
Yeah,
action on
yeah.
whatever we need to take action,
is,
and
so-
wait for Cindy.
Yeah, but as Andy said, we need to take action on the, if we want to go ahead with the credit card thing, we need to take action on that now, but there are other things that we can take up when we continue, the hearing, which we'll do at the next meeting.
Okay, my other thing is, is this a good time to bring up credit cards?
This is the time.
Okay. I understand that we need to make revenue. I don't disagree with Rich on that, but I do disagree with the fact that you cannot charge if they use a debit card. Because Visa and MasterCard do not charge on their end for a debit and credit card, or for a debit card when it's done. I mean, it's a federal law, Rich. You can argue all you want, but it's a federal law that you cannot charge for the use of a debit
I'm
card.
not arguing, I'm not arguing, but I just saw in the Elevon statements from the merchant processor,
Mhm.
they charged.
That's because you don't have the
credit cards.
proper equipment not to do it. So you're inflicting upon the residents a fee that does not have to be created by using their debit card because you don't want to purchase the equipment where they can put in a PIN number so they don't have to be charged that fee, that $225.
We're not inflicting.
Well, I
really,
wrong word, but you know.
But what I will, maybe if this helps, in my conversation with Hampton, when I've talked to them quite a bit about debit cards, and the way they do it across the board at their clubs is it
It
You're
doesn't make it right.
well, it doesn't, but there are other ways to pay, and the law only applies.
So do we bring our checkbook here and give the server a check?
No, but you can.
I don't want to use my card because
You
I don't want to use my member number. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
I thought it was being
I-
helpful, okay, fair enough, yeah.
Darlene, I'm not sure of the answer, but the reason it's called a convenience fee is to differentiate it from the law that you're talking about.
I understand that, but
And-
that's still,
Yeah, and how much money do I have to spend on additional equipment to
Yeah.
offset that?
it's just a thought and just the fact
Appreciate
that
it.
you are
Yep.
affecting a lot of residents by doing that.
Okay, got it.
Are there any other public comments? Tim?
I just want to point out that I do agree with implementing the credit card fee because it's a burden to the rest of the residents if we don't. Also want to talk about people that play cards. I believe that non-residents should pay a fee to use our facility during the day to play cards. They bring their own snacks, they ask to have cake served, items like that. Tennis teaching court. I don't believe that the tennis instructors should be able to reserve a tennis teaching court during prime time. Most tennis instructors, part of their salary is teaching. That's not the case here. They get a substantial salary. Our courts are not for them to make more money. So I think that rule needs to be readjusted back to the way it was before Dave Freeman was hired. That rule was relaxed for that person. Outside vendors that serve the River Club will actually serve residents. If you're bringing an outside vendor to do instructions, whether it's tennis, pickleball, fitness, swimming, whatever, they should all carry insurance. And they should pay a guest fee because they are a guest using our facility. Just like if you would use a tennis court. So if someone's bringing anyone in to do private instruction, they should pay a guest fee. Thank you. I have everything in writing. I will give it to Belinda and a copy to the chair.
I do want to ask Tim a question. What private instructor are you talking about?
Well,
Is there
sometimes,
somebody?
especially in the evening, people bring in a tennis instructor.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, doesn't happen often, but they do.
Okay,
They don't reserve the court or anything like
okay,
that.
that's helpful. I
Person.
wasn't aware of that.
And there are people that bring in private fitness instructors using our equipment. If they get hurt on our equipment, who's responsible?
Yeah, okay, thank you for that. Maybe we need a rule.
Are there any other public comments?
Sure.
Mark?
Thanks, Keith. I showed up because Cindy could not be here, so you're going to review a couple of the suggestions from the Racket Sports Committee on some new tennis rules. These are long-standing practices we've had for several years. So it's not new news, but however, we had a couple conflicts going on, so we said, let's just clarify it, add it to the tennis rules so there's no issues going forward with this. We had a very active discussion 2 weeks ago at our Racket Sports meeting about all the tennis rules and all the pickleball rules. Pickleball rules were fine. You'll see 2 amendments that we're suggesting for the tennis. We probably will have another 1 or 2, and I'm glad we'll have another round of this, because at our last meeting, a couple things were not resolved, including what Tim just mentioned with the teaching court, whether we were bound to have a teaching court or not. So that should be resolved in the next couple weeks. At our next meeting, we'll go through that, and the recommendation will come from our committee, what to deal with the teaching court. And just as a reminder, when you look at the charter for the Racket Sports Committee. It is to maximize the use of play for our residents, for our members. So when you read the two additions to that, that's what it's all geared to, making sure that during prime time, it's really reserved for members. That's all I have.
Just one question for you, Mark, then. So those two, rule edits, the draft edits, should we wait or should we go ahead and,
I'd suggest you get them done now.
okay,
This way we can focus on the next one or
Okay.
two after that.
thanks.
Are there any other public comments? Okay. Okay. So at this time, we would need a motion to continue the public hearing.
I make that motion.
Hold on, to November
Yes,
at, 9:30 at this location.
yes. I make that motion.
Okay.
There we go.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Great, so we're gonna continue the public hearing to November 10th at 9:30 a.m. here at the River Club.
And then board, as we just talked about, if you want to piecemeal some of the potential
Mhm.
changes, we can do that today. And I
Yes.
just was chatting with Belinda. We'll adopt resolution 2026-01 with whatever changes you made today.
Okay,
I'll bring back a second resolution
okay,
to your November 10th meeting for the additional. changes.
okay, perfect, yeah. So, everyone, then what I'll do is I've got the electronic version here. And you have, I think you all have a draft in front of you of what I had sent then. Shall we go through, one thing I had, let me pause that thought for a second. I had added something to the agenda, discussion review of credit card convenience fee for River Club charges. I had wanted to just take everybody through some of the mechanics and the procedures, the way we're gonna let people know and other things that need to happen. Maybe it's best for me to do that after we're done with the hearing, or if you have questions, I'll be able to answer those.
We already let people know.
I know, but there may be some implementation questions. Well, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? So
Yeah.
I have put that together,
The
so,
only thing I think about with credit cards at all is, or even ordering food, is you should have to have your ID card. And especially, because you don't want people who don't belong here coming in and ordering food that are not members. Our food's subsidized. So I think before a food order is placed or a credit card is used, you have to have a member ID. Or, if the waiter knows you, that's fine. But we're getting new staff and turnover of people, and hopefully more people start coming to the club.
so a suggestion I have on that, because there is something in here that says,
You have to carry it.
essentially, you have to carry it.
Carry it
I
all
think
the
what
time.
you might be talking about is procedural
Yes.
and not a rule per se. I would argue it
It's not,
be a
it's
Hampton
it's really not a rule. Yeah, it's not,
procedure.
but
I take your point.
But maybe the resident should be advised again, somehow of that.
Yeah, fair enough. And
Because
let me make a note
we
of
should,
that.
we should make it, because we're subsidizing our food, and
Sure.
if people sneak in here, we don't want them spending their day at the tiki bar,
Yeah.
ordering food with a credit card, and
Yeah, okay.
making a day of it.
So we can reiterate that maybe in what goes out, so that would be
Is this a
procedural.
problem?
I think it is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
You think it's a problem?
yeah, definitely.
Based on-
Follow along, yeah.
Interesting.
Beyond, I think it is. Why do you think it is?
Because I've seen people here that really are not here. I've spoken to people at the tiki bar that don't belong here.
They just come in?
Yeah. Mhm.
So we're making money off them.
No, we're
No,
not,
we're
we're
losing money.
subsidizing, we're subsidizing them. They're taking up our,
profit.
we're not making profit of food, everything's subsidized, every dollar we spend.
60%.
We're losing money on everything, so it's our service, our seats, our whatever, that we're not getting use of, that we're paying for, and they're using for free. So they should not be allowed, so if they're gonna sneak
I
in
don't
and use the
disagree,
pool.
I'm not sure how they got in, but that's a different
You-
question.
You walk in the gates, hold that for me, all the time, I see it all the time.
I don't know, just before we go asking every resident to always have an ID with.
Well, but this is why I think it's procedural and.
Well, it is procedure.
But we're
Yeah.
gonna, we're gonna have a lot of new staff. We just hired 3 new bartenders, they don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So, they don't know me, they don't know you. I was at the Tiki Bar in February. James didn't know me and didn't give me any service, but he didn't know who I was, so I could have just walked in and ordered food. He didn't know who I was. I was a supervisor, he reported me, what he didn't. Didn't ask me for my ID card. So if he doesn't know who I am, how does he know I belong there?
I think this is something we should ask Hampton to address. I think it's, handled that way. At least to start, and then if it's.
But I think, it's, especially
So
with a
what
lot of.
happens if a resident comes down and they don't have their ID card?
How do you get into the pool if you don't have your ID card?
When it came down with somebody else who had an ID card.
Then let them order the
Their
food,
neighbor,
then let
their
them
friend.
order the food on the other person's ID card and settle out. But you're supposed to carry your ID card at all times, it's a rule.
I understand. So if they come into the restaurant and have dinner,
You should show your ID card before.
what if they
you
don't have it?
start. Go get it.
Well, no, I don't, how much of an issue do we want to make of it? These are residents.
I think this is a discussion with
Yeah.
Hampton,
We don't know
and
them,
not
but
related
we're
to this
assuming they're
document,
residents.
but
Before we annoy half the community,
Well, I'm more
I'm
concerned
just
about
trying to
the-
figure out how big of a.
I think the
problem we
tiki's
have.
a much, I
I'm more
think the
concerned about the
tiki's
tiki
bigger.
bar per se. Does he need a reservation here? You need to make a reservation to do
You know,
this?
You can walk in.
Then if you walk in if you're just walking in and they don't know who you are, then you should have to show your ID card. Because we have new people here who don't know who you are.
But are you saying, Rich, that you want it codified in the rules document?
Well. it's-
Because, it's already 20 pages, right? And we've got 30, 40 pages of
well,
POA rules.
Technically, it is there.
I
but
think it's,
The River Club, yeah.
yeah,
It
it
is there.
is, yeah, exactly, it's in the River Club
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, it is in the rubber code, so we just, I'm just saying we need to enforce it.
Yeah, and I think we can happily remind people,
That's-
to present
yeah.
ID, but I don't, although it is in the River Club Declaration, I don't, and it's mentioned.
I don't know what's in the River Club deck, I just say we have a River Club deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that says you have
I
to,
don't know
you have,
what's referenced in there about this
it's
particular.
you have to carry your ID, you have to have your ID card whenever you're on River Club property.
I don't want to represent
For
one
access.
way or another.
I think for purposes of this document, noon, I think. we
That's fine.
should,
Yeah, okay.
And then, because we can always add to it later. So
Okay.
I am on page of the draft. I'm on page 4 at the top, member identification and member accounts. Oddly enough, number 2, food, beverage, merchandise, and services on the River Club may be paid for via a River Club account, in parentheses, billed monthly, by paying with a credit card at the time of service, credit card use, blah, blah, blah. And then is subject to a convenience fee. River Club manager does not accept cash as a form of payment. So these were some edits by me that I think just clarify. So if you're okay with that, we can accept that. Accept. Okay, then we made the edits on number 3. And then the subsections, reflecting,
Yeah, all good.
yeah, okay, so if you guys are okay
We
with
are.
that, I'm gonna accept. Just gonna go through here quickly. Okay, credit card, blah, blah, blah. Then, sorry, we go down to, let's see, I had highlighted on page 5 in yellow, period of 60 days after the date of the monthly statement, then it becomes delinquent. And
I changed it to 30.
ooh, that's a tough one. Well, but some clubs are 30. You want to make it 30?
Well, what's, you don't have to act like 30, but at least gives you, you're not at 60. And if you're paying by ACH and credit card, it's automatic, so it's only relating to people who pay by check. So why give them all this extra time to not be around and whatever, so.
I mean, it's fine with me. Ken, are you okay with that?
I don't have a problem with
And it
that.
says,
Yeah.
and it says may limit, it does not say it's going to limit.
Yeah, and I do know from Plantation, they literally, when I was a member there, also changed it to 30.
You know, and if it happens the first time to a person, you know,
Shut you off.
we understand. But if this person's repeatedly late, or, you know, because what happens is.
Fine, I get it, okay. So number 6, and this edit is something that I had popped in there, which reads, whatever action it deems necessary to effect collection, including suspension of River Club privileges, suspension of RFA gate access, and legal action. Are you okay with that? Is it too heavy-handed?
If Andy's okay, I'm okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
If it does become an issue to where we're utilizing the RFID gate access, or we're pulling it for people, we may want to do a separate resolution to have on the books as well, but I'm okay with the
Okay.
language as you prepared it.
So I'll go ahead and accept that. Yeah, we should go pretty quickly now. So I'm under page 6, rentee, lessee privileges. I will unhighlight the word credit card. I had just used that purely to make sure I wasn't missing somewhere where the word credit card appeared. I can actually fix all this later. And then just credit card use at the Venetian River Club, subject to yada yada. Okay, so I'll just go accept those. Yes.
I just want to, do we have in here that the homeowner is still responsible for the payment of the rentee's expenses?
Yes, and I think I made some changes to that. I think we haven't gotten there yet, but it's coming up. There's guests. But yeah, we do. Guests, again, this is just credit card use at the Venetian, so recognizes that. Then number 4, resident members must register and indicate a length of stay. This is number 4, regarding the access cards. I had popped this in here because in our fee table at the back, it says a maximum of 2 cards, but it didn't iterate that in the text. So I was really just conforming the table with the text. Okay, all right. Ding, 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 ding. Golf carts. I feel like, unless you have anything we feel we must discuss, I feel like we should discuss it when we're a complement of 5.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
I have a change in your language too, but I can hold it or say it now.
Well, yeah, could you say it now? Because I'm gonna put it in and then,
So,
yeah.
just towards the end there, where you talk about what observed Florida state law, golf cart driver has valid driver's license.
Right.
You can do it if you're age 15 with a permit, 16 with a license, or 18 with an ID. So my recommendation was to generalize it a little and just say, will abide applicable traffic laws, signage for handicap access and fire lanes, and that you will otherwise observe Florida state law. And leave it at that,
Okay.
especially if it changes in the future.
Okay, so here's my question
Yes.
in that section. Does that mean all golf carts, transport carts are gonna have to be street legal?
No.
I'm asking the one.
Yeah, that's.
All
Yes.
Florida laws, I mean,
Yes.
if the vehicle has to be
Yes.
registered, it has to have
Yes,
stop lights, it has to
So
have signal lights.
So we can't say that then.
right.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Well, that's why I was specifically going after 8-year-olds. Could we
Yeah,
say
and-
the age
But that's
requirement?
That's already
of
Florida
And
law.
we heard that before too, but keep in mind also, we can't enforce. I mean, if there's an 8-year-old driving a golf cart, okay, there's nothing
Right.
we can do about it. If we had the police in here, and I know that's a whole other discussion.
No, we're
Police could
past that,
stop
yeah. Yeah,
But if there's an 8-year-old, we could scream at them, but we can't fine, we can't write them a traffic citation. We really don't have any teeth.
so then at least if we are gonna ask somebody to sign something before we give them a decal, I feel strongly that we need to iterate the age requirement. We have a big problem in here. It's a big
I mean, we
problem.
can say it,
Can,
but again, enforcement is gonna be difficult.
if we, let's say we see a 12-year-old driving a golf cart, and the golf cart has this golf cart 1403. we go back and we know 1403 belongs to whatever household, could we stop their RFID cards by letting the 12-year-old?
Think about that, because we don't have traffic.
If you let your
enforcement
12-year-old drive it again, you're gonna lose your license.
Well, here's
You
what I'm.
can't eat here ever again.
Well, I don't think, I'll tell you what, Ken, I don't think you should make a joke about it, because I was coming out of the tennis office, no, out of the pool area, and walking this way, where all the golf carts parked. And there was somebody who had grandma and grandpa's golf cart, and they were 8, and this kid almost ran up on the sidewalk and hit me. And I think
Then you
we
should
have,
sue the hell out of his parents.
well, except I think that the River Club has liability.
I don't
If-
know.
Well, you heard Justin sitting there saying, if you guys don't have rules, you're opening yourselves up.
It's Florida law. It's Florida law.
It is Florida law. My concern is that we don't have traffic enforcement powers. I hear everything you're saying, and I'm trying to think this through.
Putting
Well,
in
I'm
something
not-
that's
I'm not-
unenforceable.
I'm not worried, well, okay, and I'm less concerned about, it's not that I'm not concerned about enforcement, but I think we have to at least be able to say to somebody, if you want the decal, you're gonna abide by these rules. That's to me what we're trying to do. And being able to identify. So if routinely the Pizarrics are letting their
You can
8-year-old.
put in here, excuse me, you can put in here, and we want to remind you that Florida law requires blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but also, if they're driving drunk,
Right,
they're driving adult,
right,
driving the golf cart drunk,
right.
can we pull their privileges because they're driving drunk?
Well, it's much harder to prove because we don't have a breathalyzer, but if there's an 8-year-old driving a golf cart repeatedly every day up here.
Do we know they're 8 also? Some kids look
No,
young.
fair enough. Look, I get it.
I looked like I was 8 and I was driving a car. I had blocks this big under the seat.
I hear you, I don't know.
That's my concern. I hear your
Yeah,
concerns
I
too,
think-
but we can't be in the traffic enforcement.
Maybe, let me say this another way. I think for me, the hierarchy of what's important, enforcement is not as important as knowing which golf cart belongs to so-and-so. Because I'll give you another example.
That's fine, that's what the decal will do.
Exactly. Last week, this yellow golf cart keeps coming up here and parking in the fire lane, and they actually parked right in front of the fire hydrant in the fire lane.
And I think to that point, yes, if it's golf cart 1305, you could send a letter to the household,
Right.
says, hey, we've been seeing what appears to be an 8-year-old
Right.
driving this golf cart, cut it out.
So then I think maybe we all agree, because I completely understand your point on enforcement, and that's always the difficult issue. I think for me, the most important thing is identifying. So, if you're okay with whatever we would put together, and maybe says, we want to remind you of Florida law and the age, that's fine.
You guys both have a lot of CDDs. What do they do? We're
Well,
trying
you
to reinvent
sent
the
us
wheels.
I
one.
think I sent you the one from Waterley because they have a golf course.
Yeah. Hold on.
And they don't do anything with regards, their chief concern there is checking for insurance.
Yes, which was one of the chief things I had, is checking for insurance.
They don't get in the business of enforcing kids on golf carts. And let me also say though, that, I believe this is true, Waterleaf has police that come into the community. So if there's I won't say this for sure about Waterleaf, I know it for sure for Lakewood Ranch. In the country club, they have police that comes into the community. If there's an 8-year-old on a golf cart, they stop them. That's how they take care of it.
Yeah, because when Ernest and I were with the Venice Police earlier this year, he said, we're not doing that.
They stop them. I
It
can't
was
tell you
Chevron
that
West
they
that you
put
sent
them in
us.
cuffs, but
Yeah.
they stop them.
So are all those golf carts street legal and registered with the state
In,
Waterleaf.
in Waterleaf and Lakewood Ranch?
I don't believe so.
So the,
But they're
So the police
designated
ignore
as a
it.
golf course community, in which case you are allowed to drive the golf cart, but it does still have to meet, like if you're driving it at night, it needs to have the
Lights
reflectors or the
right.
lights or whatever chapter
Right.
316 lays out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
so can we go back to talk to the police to see if they will come in here to enforce some of our rules?
No, they won't.
I will tell you, again, you can have your
We have to
discussions,
pay
but
them.
anything I've ever,
Why should we have to pay the police? We're police public
hold
roads.
on. Any community that I've ever dealt with where you have police presence, they will tell you that we won't enforce some. We're either gonna enforce them all or we won't be there. Because they don't wanna pick and choose, and they can't pick and choose. We'll stop the kid on the golf cart or the guy robbing the house, but we're not gonna stop the one who ran the stop sign.
Well, the Venice police said, a couple
They
of
have to say
things.
that.
They said that,
They have to, yeah, they have to.
because we are a gated community, that creates problems for them. And that unless, it's a homicide or an
They
armed
will come in
robbery,
for that, right?
if they happen to be up here unloading the blue Santa box and they see me running a stop sign at 35 miles an hour, they're not gonna pull me over. That's what they said. They will not do that.
That's up to them, I suppose.
They also questioned, no, I'm not sure they said that. Anyway, but yes, that's what they said. So I specifically said, if you see an 8-year-old driving a golf cart, will you pull them over? He said, nope.
And in Lakewood Ranch, we have off-duty police presence. So yes, the police are still coming in, driving by, or, God forbid there's a homicide or something, but we contract with the sheriff separately for off-duty
Right.
police officers to do traffic
Right.
enforcement.
So we pay,
Right.
So they're paying for it.
so we,
Yes,
paying-
so
that
we
was what
pay,
I'm
so we
saying.
pay taxes for police, but we don't get any police. Okay, so.
No, we
We
do,
get
but
some, but not,
Yeah, not really, well,
some.
you don't get
some-
patrol, you don't get patrol.
you don't get,
No, we do get, they are very visible and sometimes not visible, but in here. That was a question we asked them, is that, do you come in, are you doing routine patrols through here? And they are, they have the cities divided up into 7 sectors. And I think we're like sector 2 or something, and they're in here both with marked cars and unmarked cars. And they are in here and they're looking.
I've never seen them all.
But usually they're going for people fishing, but when I specifically asked that question, he said, no, we will not enforce that. We won't do it. Stop signs, golf carts, nope.
No speeding, okay.
so I mean, the way you have this drafted, you must sign a form attesting that you and anyone
Yeah.
operating an identified vehicle will abide. I mean, you can sign a form, and we can ask them to sign a form, but I'm telling you, you're gonna have a potential enforcement issue, because we don't have traffic enforcement.
Understood. So,
And maybe you should put the age, abide by the Florida's age requirements, not just, because as a caveat.
including its age
Well,
requirements.
not including, because because if you do by, like Ken said, if you do by state, Florida, say, oh, we can't drive our golf carts in here, because they're not street legal. So
So
if you-
after the words fire lanes, comma, and,
Form attesting you- People find it.
You're abiding by Florida state law.
Applicable traffic laws is inclusive of what we just said about the license.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, if you wanna call it out so it's more prominent.
You gotta be careful about that, because
well, so let me suggest something since it's 12:17, because we're not gonna be ratifying this today anyway.
We can hold on the golf
Should we,
course.
why don't we noodle it a little bit? I mean, at least
Right.
now you have my feelings, because for me, it's about identifying, because you asked me, what are we trying to do? At least from my personal perspective, it's knowing whose golf cart it is, so, anyway.
Okay.
All right, so what I will
So
do
that's,
then,
the decal will do that
exactly,
without all the others.
exactly. The decal would do that. And then maybe we don't need to put all the stuff in here.
And if you don't have the decal, then we can do, bad stuff to you. Yank your gate privileges, let's just say. Okay, so we're trying to get people to have a decal. but We're
Right.
not gonna do traffic enforcement.
I think that's exactly right. Well said, yeah.
And also, I think cars should have decals too, not just golf carts.
I have no objection. I would just suggest we do that when the two ladies are here.
Yeah, no, I'm just throwing,
Okay.
this all gets put off till
Okay,
whenever.
so, all right, so I'm leaving that in red, yada, 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 yada.
Okay, so we can tweak that.
We'll tweak it.
Clear that they don't have grandchildren.
So dining rules, now I'm on page 9, actually page 10, number 3, which says all food and beverage consumed in a River Club facility shall be furnished by or at the discretion of River Club owner or manager, unless otherwise specified. I don't think we need more than that, but we do have a challenge with people bringing stuff in when the tiki bar is closed, and sometimes with the cards, but I now that we've talked about some things, I think this is more a Hampton procedural enforcement than it is adding more words that.
Well, I think we need to find out what we should have the words in here, because it should be the rules, but I think we should talk to Hampton's feet, get their feedback. And what they think that should be, of how to handle that.
So are you saying I'm gonna leave that as it is then? Okay, fine.
Yeah,
That's fine, because I'll just bring this back, I'll
Discussion,
just
yeah.
bring the red lines that remain back to the next meeting.
Yes.
So number 4, which is the next item, I added the sentence, entertainers must meet River Club insurance requirements. Because they should.
Yeah, and again, I see no problem with including it, but that's a procedural issue too, you know. you
Fair
sign
enough,
up
but at least it's
entertainer.
there
Yeah,
and.
Like I said, I have no objection to including it, but right, you would expect that when they sign up the
Yeah.
guy to do the music festival, that they
Yeah.
get his insurance.
Yeah,
Assuming.
and I know that they do obtain it, so, okay, then we move into the tennis rules, and so it would be,
So a guy coming in to play music at the tiki bar, it's gotta have the same insurance company, the roofers and tower
yes,
people and painters have.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have
$1 million
insurance.
liability when.
I don't know what they're requiring, but we're not, you know, that's Hampton.
Hampton seems to be managing it, so, and I think they are actually, because I was at the very famous now, 80th birthday party that was here at the club a couple Saturdays ago, and I know the entertainer had to, I don't know what they provided, but I know they did, because I was talking to one of the celebrants, so.
Usually it's just liability, naming the district as
Yeah.
additional insured. Not typically gonna have the guitar player provide us with his
$1 million automobile policy.
right, as we would someone with a heavy truck. or something.
Right. So I think that's worded correctly. It says River Club insurance requirements. Is that right? It doesn't say district. River Club insurance requirements, not district.
And number 10 might be taken out based upon what Mark, what Mark is.
Yeah, and you know what I can do to that point, Rich, is I will make that a deletion.
Or potential
Oops.
deletion.
Exactly. Review. Okay. Oh, yeah, I will, Nance, thanks, you bet, I sure will. Okay, I'm just gonna highlight this, because I'm.
Where are we?
This was, tennis rule number 10, Mark had mentioned the teaching court. But they're gonna be discussing that at the next rackets meeting, it's on page 11, the second bullet from the bottom. So then we would go to, it's now rule number 13. There are 2 sections there. The first one that you have in your draft says league and or inter-club tennis events involving are not before 11 a.m. The second one, talking about 4 tennis courts, I chatted with Mark yesterday. There's a tweak to it, and I want to read it to you so that the other tennis player in the audience can. So it now reads, up to 4 tennis courts may be reserved for league and or interclub tennis events that include non-members. Courts for this purpose must be reserved by tennis staff or River Club management. If additional courts are desired, a member is responsible to reserve the additional courts under standard court booking rules. So what this is getting at, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, is that, you know, if there's an interclub and you want to set courts aside because it would be done outside the time frame that regular residents can book a court for regular play, you have to go through River Club management to do it. But you can only get more than 4 courts for that purpose if you then observe the 3-day previous booking rule. So it's a little bit like a golf tournament where you set up a golf tournament, weeks and months in advance. But if I want to play when the golf tournament's done, I have to go in and get a tee time after the tournament's over on the regular rules. Is that all right? Does that make sense? In other words, it's saying interclub, the standard interclub is going to be 4 courts, and if you
Right.
want more than that, you're only going to get it if you're in the pool with everybody else.
Okay.
Did I explain that right, Mark?
You did. The idea is we're gonna have 6 courts and we need to keep some courts open for residents.
Right.
So
Residents should have
ahead of
priority.
time, there should be only 4 court max for interclub or leagues. Now, it doesn't mean they can't get a 5th court, but they're in the pool with everyone else trying to vie for it 3 days ahead of time. And if they bring in a guest, they have to pay a guest fee for that 5th court.
And with an interclub, typically, if it's done right, you're gonna have 50% of the players are gonna be residents and 50% are gonna be from another club. And I think that's something, well, I know what you're getting at, that it isn't always that way, and RSAC is gonna take that up. But Mark wanted to get this 4-court thing fixed now, because sometimes we do have, people who wanna book 5 or 6 courts for a group that's basically blocking out everybody from play.
Yeah, I agree, it shouldn't. It's an amenity for a resident.
Exactly. But this is just saying, now, you could make the no, I was gonna say, if you want more courts than that, you could just do it a day before, but, are you okay with this? Or this is still bothering you, I think?
No.
No, you're okay with it? Rich?
I'm deferring to the people who play
Yeah.
tennis, so
Yep.
I don't have
good.
expertise in
Okay.
that, so if they
Used to,
think,
but I
if
don't
they
anymore.
think this is what they want, then that's what they
Okay,
get.
okay, so that is now no longer a red line. Credit card, just want to make you guys aware at the bottom of 18, talking about River Club staff.
18.
On page 18, it's number 3, talking about River Club staff purchasing food at a discount, which I think they do at 50%. Are they going to be charged a credit card fee, staff? Thank you.
I think also what we should do
Or do I just
is
leave it out and not worry?
leave it to Hampton, but I think, if you're gonna start charging everybody $4 and the transaction fee, the transaction card is gonna go crazy, charge them once a week, once a month. Right, and my feeling
Don't
is,
charge them at all.
and my feeling is at this point, if you have the right staff and if you feed them a little bit as an offset to salary, that's a great thing. What they would, I don't know how it was being done before, but if you think about it, if a hamburger really costs $4 or $3 to make, and you give somebody a $3 hamburger, if they had to go out and buy a hamburger in the real world, it would cost them $10, $12. They would have to make $18 to come home with $12 to buy the
Right,
hamburger that costs us
right.
$3. So we can really be giving these people a lot of perks.
So why don't we
For the
leave the
small,
language as it was, and, because I also don't disagree with you that maybe anyway. So I think let's just not make, I only raised it because the word credit card
Yeah,
is
and
there,
let Hampton figure out how to
Yeah,
handle
okay,
the best way to.
So-
Cost us more than $4 in fees.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly, so, and I don't think right now we should be discussing a change in the membership fee. Locker rental, maybe some of these things, because everybody's gone, we just leave these as they are for red line discussion next time. We're not charging anybody any locker rental fees, people are just getting keys from the front desk and using them. So I don't know whether we,
Are they using them permanently or daily?
both.
I think if daily, it should be for free. If you want to rent a locker, you
All
should pay
right,
for
so then we're
rental.
just gonna leave this as it is. I have a question let's see, Hampton's not here. You know, remember we set up, Andy, and I don't think I was on the board, Ken was though, the meeting room setup and tear down fee. It's really we don't do it that way anymore per se. If I'm gonna have a meeting, I talk to them in Hampton and they figure it out, but it isn't a fee per se, it's built into the cost of the event.
Okay.
So, although I guess there's no harm in leaving it in here, I don't know.
I'd just leave it.
Leave it, okay. And then, I'm gonna leave the rest of it, which is.
I would take it out because if somebody said, "Why do you charge me $500?" If you charge me $500 for the room, and then there's,
Well, it does say,
If we're doing it for non-member events and it's in the contract now and we're charging a fee, that's more of what it was intended for. Not
yeah,
the
Correct.
community association or
Yeah.
a POA.
yeah. Anyway, we don't have to step in today, I just had raised it because it jumped off.
So I would
Yeah.
leave it
Okay.
alone and take it out.
Yeah,
Take it out.
Is there an issue with taking it out?
I don't
Put it back
know
in,
that
we
we're,
have to.
I can't imagine we've even charged anybody.
You wanted to put it back in, what
Outside of
happened?
that.
But the prices are so low
yeah, the
anyway,
prices,
that
yeah.
I think we should just, if you guys are okay with it, I
Just
think we
take
just
it out.
take it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You just build it into the room charge.
Yeah, okay, let me just do the red thing, okay. And then I had only highlighted the tennis lessons thing because, we've got a new management company, et cetera. So I think,
Why is that even in here?
because it's a fee.
So that comes to the River Club, not the tennis pro?
Goes to the pro. Right now, all that money's going to the pro. We don't get,
But
we don't get any money in the lessons.
But it's still, no, we don't, but it's still being charged on district property, right? Is that why it's in here?
I think it's good to have it in here because it is a fee related to the.
So, I highlighted it also because with, with Hampton coming in, I don't know whether they're gonna restructure how things are done with, the tennis staff and how they do things. So it was just, should we ask the question? So I'll leave it redlined to discuss at the continued portion of the hearing.
And we can't, and the River Club can't, well, the CDD can't make any money on the lessons, is that correct? We could, okay.
We can. The only question would come is if all the lessons, so many of the lessons are being given to people who don't live here, right? Something like that. No, if we did. Remember Dave, the reason that came up at all, we had
Oh,
to do
because
the
Dave
bond
wanted
hearing.
to
Because
do
of the
it.
tax.
Dave Fryman wanted to be able to give lessons
Yeah.
to non-residents, and then we had to go to
Will.
the bond council.
Right.
Charge us more than Dave was ever gonna charge for
Right.
tennis lessons.
The whole
to give us
idea
the-
of using our property for too much commercial purpose.
Right, that did not accrue to the benefit of the district, right? Yeah, okay. So my final question is for you, Andy, then. So the date at the bottom I have is today's date. So this document then, what I will do is I'll
Do we
accept.
want to charge for fitness classes?
Yes, we do.
You didn't highlight that.
I was gonna put Ken Smaha wants to,
You can put my name on it.
well, I think it's a discussion we should have at the right time. I'll tell you that. I sure do.
I think we should discuss it at the next meeting.
We're charging credit card convenience fees to everybody. Why wouldn't we charge for the personal use of the studio with an instructor that we're paying for?
I don't disagree with you at all. I think the one thing I would say is when I met Jamie Selby for the first time in April of this year, he said, if you're gonna reinstitute fitness class fees, don't do it when we start because we'll get blamed for it. So what we could do though, I think we should discuss it, to be serious.
I
think we
would
should
certainly
discuss
blame
it.
them.
We'll tell them, we'll
I
blame
mean,
them unless they
especially in light of the expenses that are going on here.
Why don't you just highlight it
Yeah.
for,
Yes, yeah.
Because,
That's what the side-
why don't we have fitness
We're
instructors?
charging a convenience fee.
Why don't we have
want to
fitness
charge
instructors in
somebody
the
who
gym?
comes in with a friend to play cards?
Well, here's
you know, we don't have instructors in the gym, we don't have physical trainers in the gym.
Well, here's the argument, honestly.
For or against?
And in favor of charging fees,
Okay.
because otherwise I can't talk. No, seriously. I believe if we did charge fees, I think we'd have the opportunity to get some new ideas about fitness classes. We might attract updated fitness programs. I mean, sorry, you know, we have a chance to upgrade our fitness class profile. No, it's not, it's Jeff.
Don't do it.
Stop talking about this.
Yeah,
I told you. I think there is a good reason to do it. I think there will be a very small but vocal group who have an absolute conniption, but I think it's a discussion we have to have. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, and like, you know, and with that respect, like I said, I know Terry won't go to the classes. She goes there and goes, I'm going there for an hour and they're talking and I'm not getting.
You're making my point.
There's no workout. I need,
Right.
If I'm gonna go, I
Right.
wanna get,
Right.
you know, have
Right.
a real class.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and update the document, taking out anything that is, no,
Here's, if I could. jump in.
please,
So,
You know
as we're
what the-
continuing to do the dates at the bottom,
yeah,
I would say amended October 27th.
yes,
And show the things, and take out the red line and the highlights on the
Yeah.
things that we all agreed to. That's now a living document of
Right.
October 27th version.
Right.
And then the things that are left that are highlighted or for discussion or whatever will show up in our November 10th for
Yes.
consideration document.
yep, that's where I
And
was
then
gonna
you'll make
go.
your decisions on those.
Yeah,
at that
I think
point.
that's exactly right. So, yeah, okay, because this, I've got this saved as a version today, so that's what
And then,
I'll
like
do.
I mentioned before, we'll do two separate resolutions. So we will still proceed with 2026-01, and we'll adopt what is on your living October 27 document.
Okay,
And stuff will jump over to the November 10th. That's still up in the air.
now here's my question for you. Do we need to put anything about a credit card convenience fee in the table? The fee table, the fee schedule?
No.
We don't?
No.
Well, I didn't think so, but I thought, well, let me just
I think
ask.
it's just, there should be a note on the menu and maybe a little something on the card.
So, yeah,
So
so.
so
That
people,
dovetails into your procedure.
It absolutely, thank you, Rich, because I would have forgotten. So, just reconfirming for the record and everything else, the rate is 2.5%.
which seems crazy compared to the 9% we're seeing.
We'll get, well, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I have talked to a couple people in Hampton about this. The procedural mechanics are, you know, they're looking into Jonas programming. There's nothing they need to do to the swipers. Relating to monthly payments. So now if I want to pay my monthly fee by credit card, that needs to be done on the website. So if that's how I want to pay, here's my link to whatever.
And on your statement, probably.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be on all those things. And then we also need on there a link to the ACH form because I don't think it's there yet. And then a blurb where to drop off checks and inquiries. So disclosure mechanics which is what I have talked to both John and Bill about is, you know, it can be a statement on the menu. And I thought Dee Dee Franklin told me it must be on the menu. It should be on the bill. And I wondered whether we should put a table tent card, at least in the immediate term, you know, like a little thing that says just a reminder, effective November 1st.
I would for the first month. or two.
Yes, I think so.
No, just as a reminder.
A
to
little
people.
tacky, but maybe maybe you have like a little card printed up. So when they hand you the bill, there's
In
like
the folio.
like in the folder,
Yeah.
just like a little business card. There's, you know, it's a 2.5% fee. if
Well,
you
it's
use
funny,
a
I
credit
didn't
card.
ask her why, but the server, when she gave me the bill Friday, asked me if I was paying by credit card or a member number. It's the first time I've ever been asked.
Maybe she was new.
And I said, oh, she was very good, by the way.
Was it Shayna?
No, Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer, okay.
Okay. And I was wondering if I had said credit card, if she was gonna say, just to let you know, starting November 1st, there's gonna be a 2.5%.
I don't know, I do feel,
It's the first time I've ever been
yeah,
asked.
and I do feel that Hampton seems to be very on top of it, plus, our hopefully new GM is, I think, super experienced in this.
Or you have a little something, just a little something on the menu instead of the folio,
Well,
at least like.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But even maybe just a piece of paper clipped in it so you really see
Sure.
it. So
Sure.
before you start, because I think something on the table is a little tacky. Because, you want to be promoting more important things.
And
events
I'll leave it to them, it's
Yeah,
up,
no
it's
sushi.
up, it's up, what's that?
Promote the sushi.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so I've talked to Hampton about where to just remind people, including the board at the front. And then, what to say, reminder that we don't take cash, yada, yada. So, and it'll be in the rules document. So I feel like they have it covered. I just wanted you all to be comfortable that these questions have been raised, I guess, is where I was going with that. So, okay. So, what do we need to do?
So if you're ready,
Yes.
it would be a motion to approve resolution 2026-01, approving the changes that were made today.
I make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second.
Third? I'll be third, can you give me?
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor, please state aye. Okay.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the next agenda item you're going to table till November 10th.
Yes.
And if you do end up making some potential changes there, it will be helpful that we'll have a continued public hearing that we can utilize as well.
Yes. Okay, yep, I think that's right.
Okay?
Yes. Now, the next thing, even though Cindy is not here, which is the new fitness and pool committee member, Nancy sent me her,
Sorry.
Oh.
Back to the
Oh.
C. Is this something Cindy put on here?
Which,
yeah, I think so.
Resident access.
Yeah, Cindy sent that thing
And
around.
the discussion with Justin Wright.
Yes.
Justin Wright, someone I hooked her up with from Metal Point 2, which is CDD I used to represent Pasco County.
In Florida.
Yes, Pasco County, Westchester.
And this goes back to what Darlene was talking about and whatever, but I
Yes.
think we should discuss, we should bring this up when Cindy's back.
Yes.
And.
Yeah, no, I just wanted
Yeah.
clarification where it came from.
Yeah, yeah, good, okay. So that we'll just defer.
So, not to belabor it,
Okay.
I'm waiting. I'm just
Okay.
curious,
Yeah,
but it'll be redundant.
let's wait till Cindy's
So are
back.
we going back to the committee member?
Yes, yeah, so, I don't know more than you do about what's in, I don't know Connie personally, but, can I make a motion that Nancy?
She's being recommended?
Yeah, she's being recommended, and she's, both Cindy and the Fitness and Pool Committee, would like the supervisors to know that they endorse Connie Waring for
Can you spell her last name for me, Joe?
Waring Waring. So I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the application.
Well, was anybody else notice that the opening was available? I mean, I don't want to defer, I don't want to go against the committee.
You mean, was a notice sent out to the community?
That people,
I don't know.
Good, so that's a good one. So is this just filling the term of an open committee member?
Yes, it would be.
when's the
I just
term?
don't know who, so I'd have to ask Cindy.
Yeah, I don't know what the term is, I don't know what the term is.
either.
So I'm okay with that. If it's just filling, it's an appointment to fill the
Yes,
remaining period.
yeah,
So it can't be more, it can only be a year at most, basically this.
pretty much,
Okay.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So, and I think, I'm not speaking for Cindy or for Nancy, but my guess is, maybe she was somebody who was in the hopper already the last time around, and they wanted to get somebody instead, so.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to not have people, people know that.
Yeah, agree,
Because there's so many people flocking.
especially the facilities.
Yeah,
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
I'm not sure who added, the discussion and review of the financial statements on here.
Yeah, I think Zachary may have editorialized, because I asked for a review of the fiscal 25 full year financials. Because we got well, we don't have Vanessa's yet, but we did get the statements from Melissa. But I think we kind of already hashed
Went
through
some-
those.
And also Cheryl and Cindy have, no input.
Yeah, I
so-
think that's right,
You're gonna
so.
put it on November 10th?
Yeah, but it will be reworded as the full year fiscal 25.
It's 20, yeah, not 25, 26.
Yeah.
No, but I did, that's not how I submitted. I think Zachary was trying to be,
So
didn't
this is-
recognize he made a change
So
to it.
then this needs to change for fiscal year end 25.
Yes,
It's table.
Okay. We discussed the insurance renewal, we discussed the Hampton Golf insurance requirements, so now we can go into item number 7A, which is the consideration of the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting held on October 6, 2025. These are behind tab number 5 for your review.
I thought today's gonna be a short meeting.
Are you late for something?
No, I just thought it was, well, I've got things I gotta do, but I thought it was gonna be a shorter meeting today.
Are there any questions, comments, and or changes to the minutes?
Just one change on line 54.
Line 54, Ken?
Yeah. Just, it's speed bumps at Padova and Benito. I'm sorry, Montaluna. He was asking for Padova and Montaluna.
Oh, right, you're right.
That's all.
If there are no further questions, we'd be looking for a motion to approve with one change as noted on the record.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ken, second by Jill. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
We now have item number 7B, which is the ratification of the operations and maintenance expenditures for the month of September 2025. These are behind tab number 6 for your review. Are there any questions?
No.
If there are no questions, we'd be looking for a motion to ratify.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
We now have consent items for your acceptance. There are 4 different sets of committee meeting minutes for your acceptance.
I move we accept the 4.
Second.
Motion by Ken, second by Jill. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Are there any advisory committee and liaison reports?
No, I think my committee reporting, so.
Can we talk about, just briefly, the upcoming end terms for the committees and when you want the notification to be sent out for those interested? Because coincidentally, I have received a few, but.
Oh, great, okay.
We should set a date for when you want to appoint.
Yes.
I would say November's meeting, maybe the first meeting in December.
Yeah, I think that's when we'd need to vote on them. I've already done a draft and I had Keith all ready to go. And then I looked at Ken's committee, at least as Zachary sent it, the
Check that.
the term expirations were all 2-year terms. So you have a question, right? We talked about this.
Well,
in
I'll come back to
workshop.
Mark. I don't know what he submitted to Zach, but it should be, all the terms are 2-year terms
Yeah.
for our charter. And he's got them all as 3-year.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, so I think, I actually have the email literally in my drafts folder, ready to go.
Okay.
I
We
think,
set a deadline, Jill? so
yeah,
that,
we should, yeah, so that we're talking
Yeah,
about the
'cause we
first
would have a
meeting in
couple.
December.
If they're 2 years. then we would have-
So if I have everything at least, I want to say 10 days before the meeting, I can sort
Meeting's
them
the
in
8th.
a PDF and send them to the board.
So should we say, we don't want to say the 28th, that's the day after Thanksgiving. Should we say like by Monday, the 24th?
That works.
Or Friday the 21st?
I think the 24th works.
Okay.
So you'll get that over to Keith
Yes,
so he
I
can send
will.
out.
24th of
November.
And just as a reminder for the liaisons, if you could advise the current committee members, if they want to continue to serve, since this has happened in the past.
Yeah.
They have to submit their
I
intent
have
as
to
well.
apply, and I've told everybody in my committee
I
that.
told my committee that even though he told me he knows what he's doing and didn't listen and didn't do it right, so that's his good, that will be his problem, not mine.
Supervisor requests or comments? Are there any supervisor requests or comments?
I just had one, and it's a question for Ken because it relates to the implementation of Jonas. I had questioned Melissa Patton on I think it's $20,000 charge. The total for amenities marketing was $32,000. I think it was $20,000 over budget, and she told me that the Jonas implementation charges were put into amenities marketing. And I have to say, I could not find amenities marketing anywhere on the general ledger, although it used to be in our budget, and what it used to be used for was if we were gonna be doing a wine giveaway, buy 2 entrees, get a bottle of wine free, that's where
It's
the
fine.
amenities marketing went.
I sent Melissa an email about that
You did?
yesterday, but I actually figured it out.
Oh,
It is listed as so the amenities marketing is Jonas, but there is no true account in Jonas called amenities marketing.
I thought that was for the website.
Well, it's Jonas Internet hosting, and some of the training is in amenities marketing. Yeah, so I don't know how or why that's amenities marketing, but that's where it went. And I'm questioning that. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if the charges are legitimate, what are you gonna do? I just wanted.
And the other
When I
question,
originally asked about that, I was told that it was related to the website. So
Well,
it's an amenities marketing website.
well, it says internet hosting, but it's coming from TTA.
And I,
Their TTA invoice is called internet hosting, and then there's some invoices called TTA internet training, and
Yeah,
then, and it's a lot of it's in amenities marketing.
it doesn't belong there.
That's,
It's,
and it's any of that
well,
capital versus.
it's, the hosting, I thought was supposed to go up, under,
contract services?
subscriptions.
Yeah, which is that's under that same licensing and subscription.
Yeah,
So licensing,
Yeah,
It's very strange.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, the real reason is
and I thought they
because-
were putting it there, because something got added to that wasn't in the budget.
Plus, Ken, here's my real question. The real question is, I thought, and I could be wrong, and I don't think you were you weren't on the board yet, Rich. I thought we had talked about some of those implementation fees being charged to reserves and
The
not.
training should have been.
Okay, that was,
The training was part of the implementation.
because Melissa said to me, well, she said implementation, I don't know if
So
she said training.
50,000 was to go to capital and the rest was to go to reserves.
I think the problem is that they waited too long
They
to
did.
come back with all of the reserve reimbursements.
Yes, they
And
did.
then we were hit with a whole bunch.
Oh, it was crazy.
At the end, and
Yeah.
that's an
But-
issue because your audit was completed.
But Ken, if you go into the system and you do vendor lookup, and then you do TTA, you'll see all the bills, and then you'll see where what they've started calling things. And
Well, the training,
And even though it doesn't say, amenities marketing, it says internet hosting, but then if you add all those up, it looks like it did go into amenities, but you can't tell for sure. It says no GL called amenities marketing in Jonas. So, but the numbers look like they did transfer over.
Well, because what Melissa's response to me, she said the amenities marketing is basically the internet hosting. This is where the charges, the old system
that
included
was
as well.
supposed to go in licensing and subscription.
So at
And
this point,
I told her predecessor about
well,
that.
that explains it.
Ricardo. Well, no, because that's where they were putting it. That's where they started to put it. But then maybe somehow it
I mean,
got-
at
it
this-
got reverted back.
I mean, at this point, does it matter? I don't think, does it matter?
Well,
It's still in
well,
the income
We
statement.
want it going to the right place going
Okay.
forward, certainly.
Okay,
And that's where it should be budgeted. And I
Which-
believe it was when I remember
What
going through
should
the.
happen is we should probably let Vanessa know and let Hampton Golf know, because when audit time comes around, those are notes that need to be passed on to the auditor for adjustments.
okay,
And I know some of the training invoices have gone into reserve.
right. Well, that was what I didn't remember the full discussion. So I think Ken's, I don't mean to dump it on you, but I think you might be closer to it than I am. Mine is just recollection, but you actually are closer to it in terms of like letting Vanessa know.
I can go through the details of what's in amenities marketing.
Yeah, well.
Good luck finding it.
The problem is you can't, there's
You can't
nothing,
find it.
there is
GL
no,
detail?
there is nothing in GL called amenities marketing. There's no,
No, but wherever it's going,
it's.
Did you
it's
find
probably
the
called
answer?
something else in Jonas, but it's
You
ending
see,
up
like
on that
here-
line
like
on
here-
this.
Like here's Jonas, so here, this is, so here's an invoice. It's saying that here's an invoice from TTA for $500, it's called internet hosting,
Yeah.
going to GL account 7841-10. Is that amenities, does that, but we don't know if that then goes into amenities marketing, because we don't have that workbook.
What's 7841, Ken? Quick.
That's the problem, you can see where it goes to the GL, but then you can't tell from the GL how it goes into the statement. Because there's no,
Okay.
there's
I think there's a lot of stuff.
I asked for the workbook on it, because I want to see what went into it, so I can backtrack it back to see what it is,
You're not
because
gonna get it.
there's no way. Well, we own it, it's
I know.
ours.
Good luck with that.
She didn't answer me, but
Okay, well, that was the only thing I had wanted to raise in my remarks, is that one had me perplexed.
yeah, me too. When I was looking at that big number, I said, how did we go $17,000 over budget on amenities market?
I was told that it's because of the website. It's the website design.
Okay.
Was some of those things that went in there.
I don't know.
I don't know that the licensing is going there, but I'll find out.
And here's one we have, there's under TTS, we have some $2,495 going to account 7210-20, which is different, because this is KDS units. I
Yeah,
mean,
those
so-
are the physical things that hang on the wall.
But we don't know but we don't know from here where,
That probably should have gone to reserves.
we don't know what goes to.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah,
no,
We don't have a map.
there's no map, yeah. I've got a city here and a city here, but it's not telling me how I'm getting from city to city.
No. You're wandering in the.
Yes,
Ditch
in the
by the side of the
wilderness,
road.
in the wilderness, trying to figure out what they
Okay,
did.
well, so but if I'm, maybe to just sort of summarize so we can not run over.
Okay.
I mean, at some point, I guess we just have to fish and not cut bait and have the final results, right? Belinda, I guess.
Let's see what I can find out on that.
You know, that's what
If some
I would
stuff-
suggest, and if you put on a schedule for the auditors, so that the auditors are aware.
Yeah, okay,
And like I said, I have the workbook, so if I get the workbook,
okay,
I'll forward it over,
okay.
because I just can't.
Well, before we finalize closing, if we just need to move something between those two accounts. It's easy enough to do, isn't it?
I would say on the River Club books, yes, but on our end, no. I don't know where this is booked, I have to talk to Vanessa.
Yeah.
Because it affects the overall total, because it's part of the consolidated. But, I'll talk to Vanessa about it and see what she says.
Okay, thank you,
So I'm gonna make myself a note.
thank you. Right,
Before we move on, Jill, before we forget, the notice of the preservation of the lift. I'm not
yes.
sure whether or not Hampton is aware of that. It cannot be touched.
Well, that was why I had,
Yeah.
I had checked again, because I wanted to be sure. So I will make sure on my way out of here that I stop
What are
by
you
and
talking
see. The
From
lift,
the
the man
accident.
lift in the attic.
It needs to be preserved. We have, like I mentioned, we have a Teams meeting is it Wednesday?
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether or not Hampton or their
I
employees are
will-
aware of it.
I'm sure they would
Note that
ask
down.
me, I
Is it-
know they would
Is it
ask me.
staked off in any way?
Yes.
Okay.
What was that never part of the reserve study? Or any maintenance contract?
What's that?
The lift?
Be careful what you say on the record. I don't know, it wasn't part of it.
They were in the reserves. That was in-
Not that hundred, no, that man lift was never.
Well,
Oh, wait, what
It's like,
are we talking?
it's
We'll
like,
sort it out.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What are we talking?
the thing to get into the attic,
The scissor lift.
the scissor lift to get into the attic,
Oh.
that was never in the reserve study.
We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
Any other supervisor requests or comments? All right, it is, I'm gonna wait until it's 1 minute. It's 12:59 PM. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Ken. All those in favor, please state aye.
Uh,
All right, meeting adjourned at 12:59
Thank you,
PM.
everybody.